Nathan Stanford, and this is episode 2 of Laravel 11. And we're going through a lot of different things. Some of the things I'm going to do are going to be optional that you can do or not do. It's kind of up to you. But I'm going to go through each of these steps. So here we have this first page. First thing I want to say is once you start learning to drive a car, you do not have to know how to change the alternator. You do not have to know how to change the engine. It might be a good idea to know how to change the tire, but you don't really need to know how to do everything that you can do to a car to be able to drive a car. So, same thing with a framework. When you first start using a framework, you're going to see a lot of stuff. So let's go here and look. You see a lot of folders. If you start opening these, you're going to see even more, and you're going to shut it down and turn it off and say, forget it, I give up. Don't do that. That's not the answer. The answer is to think about, okay, what do I need to know how to do? So if we go back and look at the page and we say, okay, I really need to know how to change this. This is not what I want my home page to look like. So the first thing we want to do is find out where is that page, this page here, coming from. So I'm going to show you the first place you want to go, and there's a lot of different ways I could get there, but let's just go straight to Resources and then Views. Under Views, there's one called Welcome. So if you look in here, and we simply say, I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to say Doc, and I want the boilerplate. This is Laravel 11. And I'm going to come down here, H1, Laravel 11. I'm going to save. Then if we come back here to our browser, come down here, and we pull this back up. Notice it's reloaded. It's got Laravel 11 in the title and in the page. So we've at least found where to put code. Obviously, you don't want to just throw in a bunch of code here and build your whole web page, all the different ways to do things in here. So we're going to first find out, how do I create a different view? So we're going to say, add another terminal. You can leave Vite running when you've installed this, and you can leave the PHP open that's serving the browser that we've started. And so let's go to PHP Artisan. And by the way, PHP Artisan, I think you can do list. I think it is. Nope. Let's see here. It's help. PHP Artisan help dash help. And when you do that, if you make this screen full and you scroll up, let's see here. You can see there's a bunch of stuff here. The one you want to look at is this list. So we want to do artisan list. So now if I do PHP artisan list, you get a whole bunch of code that you can run. So if you're trying to do things, one of the things we're going to do is you scroll through this list, and we come down a little ways here, and we find create a new view. So let's go back. Let's minimize this for a second. We want to create a new view here. We're going to end up deleting this welcome, and we're going to create one for home. So let's say we're creating this simple, very simple page, home, about, and contact us. So let me go back in here, and I'll clear the screen. So we'll do PHP Artisan make view. Now I want to tell it what the view is going to be. I want to create folders and views that connect it to different sections. So I'm actually going to say home. All the home views, all the main, let's just say change that to pages.home. So now the pages.home, it will put it, you know what, let's just start like I was doing. We'll just call this one home. We'll show you the other in a minute. So here it is. we create that, and if you look over here, it added home.blade.php. In the code, there's going to be times you're using this that you will call home or welcome, and you won't have to put in the blade.php. It's going to already know to do that. So here's the home page. Let's just delete all that. So h1 home, and then we want to do the same thing we just did. We'll go back, and we want to say, instead of home, let's say about us. I'm just going to say about. We can use about us as the title. So there's that. And then I want to change this to contact. And so now we've built 3 different pages. Let's just do the same thing in each one of this. This one's going to be h1 contact, and I probably want to capitalize the C. Did I capitalize the H? I did. Okay, so we'll come back here and we'll do h1, and this is going to be about. So now we've got 3 different views. I'm actually going to delete this view for now because we're not going to use it. However, there's one place you want to go. When you go to the path and you type in a path, like let's say if we were to type about, that's where we want the about page to come up. We're not doing that yet. So what we want to do is look for the routes. So this is the routes. Like you're going down the street, you want to go what route? Do you want to go the left, right, middle? Where do you want to go? We want to go to the about page, contact, and home. So if we go to the routes and we click on web, this is the web routes. So let's pull this down. This one will work. So let's just copy this one and make 2 more. And we will change the home one to be the main route. Home route. Now just call it home page. No, we've got to go to the file. I'm sorry. And it's got to be lowercase. And then we want to come down here and we want to change this welcome to say contact. And then we want to come down here and change this welcome to be about. So now we've got all 3 routes. And you know what? I'm going to be crazy and I'm going to actually take home and let's move it down here, alphabetically ordered. And we'll move about up to here. Now they're in alphabetical order. Not that it matters, it doesn't. But I'm going to show you that this will work. So we will change this to say contact, and we will change this here to say home. Actually, home is the slash. We'll come up here to about, and we'll say about. So now if we went to home about, it would pull each of those up. So let's actually go back here. I'm going to hit refresh on this. Well, here, let me delete the about because we want to go to the home page. There's the home page. It says home. And then if I say about, there's the about page. And then if I say contact, and there's the contact page. So now we've already started in building, but you don't want to have to build all of your view here. You want to do this dynamically, otherwise why do you need a framework? So this looks great, but we're going to make some changes. So first thing I want to do, which is unrelated to what we're doing, there is a thing called a debug bar you can get, and I'm going to type composer, require, Barry, VDH, Laravel, debug bar, and --dev means I want it only for development. I do not want it in production. I only want it for development, and I'll show you what that is in just a second. Right before I hit enter, come back here, we'll see it's just a blank white page, nothing really here. So we'll come back to this and we will hit enter. It will go down, it will go out and install this package, and it will set up your debug bar and get it running. And so we're waiting for that to finish. While we're waiting for that to finish, I'm going to go to this editor config. One of the things I like to do is not do for indentation. If where you work they want for, you can leave that for. I'm making it 2. So I want mine to be 2. Let's see, what else do I want to do? I've got the debug bar. Okay, I think that's probably all I need right now. So let's close this editor config. This is an editor config file, a .editor config file. If you want to find out a little more about that, just do a research by searching in Google for .editor config. It's one of the .dot files. Okay, so we've got this down and downloaded and installed. So if I go back here and we hit refresh, see this little bar down here? What this bar does, you can check to see, well, what models have been used, what queries have been used, what views have been used. We can see the contact view. You can go through each one of these to find out, well, what else is going on in the session, in the request variables, in the messages that you can pass, and the timeline. This is just a great way to be able to debug your application. You can see we've got PHP 8.2. So let's minimize this, and we'll keep going from here. So we've got this. Let's minimize this. So we've already got these working, but we really want to make some changes to them. There is a better way. So if we want, we can go to, give me 1 second. Let's see here, under routes, and we pull up web. We want to make this cleaner and easier. If you're going to do just a view, so let's do this first one. And actually, I think I will move the home one to the top. So let's just kind of comment that one out for a second. So if we do route, view, because we're really not doing anything with this page. Right now, we're not even passing data or anything. And then that would still work. In fact, let's just save. Let's double check. There you go. It still works. So now what we want to do is we want to do a thing called name. So we're going to say we want to name this as home. So now we can actually create some URLs using this naming concept. So I'm just going to copy paste 2 more times, and we will take this first one and we will say about, and then we will do the same thing here, but contact, and then we will get rid of these down here. You've got them in the video. You can come back and look at them if you want. So we've gotten rid of those. So now it's more concise, easier to look at, a little cleaner, and it says home about contact. So let's first make sure it still works. We will go to about, and it still works. So I'm not going to go through each one. They all still work. So what we want to do next is we want to start working on how do we connect this to a database, how do we make sure everything we're doing is working. I've got MySQL running. Let's go to this env. In this env file, you scroll down till you find DB, these DB settings right here. And as you can see, I've already got example 1 app. I believe we did that in the previous previous video. So let's do PHP artisan migrate and hit enter. Nothing to migrate. Why? Because it's everything that we did previously is there. But let's say we've made changes and we really want to reset everything. You can actually do a thing called refresh. What this will do is delete everything and rerun the migration scripts. So it took away the jobs cache and user table and it added back the users cache and jobs table. So now we're freshly up to date with whatever's in the database. So what can we do next? We want to be able to learn how we can use this framework. So what I'm going to do is we're going to stop here. The next video I'm going to do, we will start working on a to-dos page that you can actually use to add your to-dos, delete your to-dos, things like that. And then we will maybe come up with some other things. Maybe we'll create a place where you can create your contracts and put their image and I don't know. I haven't decided. I am showing you how building an application on the fly, how you can do these changes in Laravel. If you have a particular thing you want to know how to do, like, for example, the to-do list will give you a create, an update, and delete, create, read, update, and delete. And so when you're looking at any application and you see it on the screen, you will have text on the screen, some of it coming from the database, which was a read, and then there will be either a search bar or a form where you fill out a form for getting emails or for signing up. That is an edit where you're going to update the database, or you're going to create this new user into the database. And then an update when you may need to make changes to that user, change their name, change their email, change their description or their title. That's what that's for. And then you need sometimes to be able to actually delete. So when you think about that, every application, if you break it down into its smallest piece, it's going to fit inside of create, read, update, and delete. Everywhere on the page has those. You can break each of those pieces down and realize there is a way to build an application in any language if you just build each of those pieces one at a time. So I'll see you on the next video, which should be the start of a to-do list. It's Sunday. I'm dressed up. I figured I would go ahead and video while I'm dressed up, just so you can see this really is me on the picture I put on the screen. But what I want you to know is, please make comments. Let me know what things you want to learn about, what things you want to know how to do. I'm not the expert in everything. I've been coding in ColdFusion since 1996. I've been doing PHP off and on during that time as well, but I've done Laravel a lot shorter time, but it's not real hard to pick up if you just start one little piece at a time. And I'm starting one little piece at a time, showing you how to do first something as simple as this about contact and home page. We will be breaking down into a layout page so that you can have a standard layout. And then you can even have an admin layout where you say, for this page, I want the admin layout. For this page, I want the standard layout or the default layout, and so forth and so on. So just let me know if there's anything you're interested in. Thank you. Keep coding.